And I'm not pulling any punches. If he was working for me, I'd fire him. I'd get somebody else.
You're talking about the head of Coinbase.
Yes, it's over. It's so over, it's almost getting boring. Gensler has told him countless times, no, 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 and no. And everybody hears it except him. So maybe what you do, and you thank him for his great work as a pioneer.
You're supposed to do that if you want something done in Washington.
Well, you take him out behind the barn and you make the swap. You get a new CEO at Coinbase to go back in there and say, let's make a deal. Because look at it this way. If you could walk in right now and say, okay, Gensler, you win. Let's regulate this. Let's call it a security. You'd get $1 trillion worth of assets for an allocation of just 3% in sovereign wealth. You could open the spigots. You could really make this industry take off and own it domestically. But read the tea leaves, read the room, listen, read Gensler's lips. The answer is no.
But I do think we are having very blunt conversations about something that requires nuance. Crypto is really a technology. The use of blockchain technology in all sorts of aspects of our financial system should be not controversial. If you have an asset, pick a CMBS security, represented in tokenized form,
right,
there ought to be a way to custody that, transfer it, because it's probably going to be more efficient than what we're doing today. So there is a crypto use case that is clear, uncontroversial. We ought to be thinking about how to do that.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have Kevin O'Leary back on the crypto scene. And he's calling for Brian Armstrong to be out. And we know the SEC is trying to get CZ out. Not only is CZ the actual CEO, but he's the co-founder. And they're not publicly traded. And we know they're over in the emerging markets. They have nothing to do with the United States, even though the SEC is trying to connect them with Binance.us. But we also know Binance started in China. And we're seeing the two sides created when it comes to chip stocks, when it comes to crypto, when it comes to AI. It's two sides. It's the BRICS nations and China versus the U.S. We now have Europe saying they're going to stay on the sidelines. Remember, guys, they have to destroy America to Babylon 2.0 in order for the fourth industrial revolution to rise, led by China the Dragon. And we have Jay Clayton, another puppet. And guys, you know I brought you the FDIC bill. The banking crisis was planned 10 years ago. And Jay Clayton is sitting right there in the meeting. And we know he bought the Ripple case, so therefore they can keep kicking the regulation can down the road and handed it over to Gary Gensler, which is another chess piece, right along with Janet Yellen. But we have Jay Clayton talks about the power of this technology. Guys, we know how powerful blockchain, tokenization, smart contracts, DeFi is. It's going to destroy this whole legacy economy. Cut out all the fees. Remember, guys, this technology can be used for good or evil. Unfortunately, it's in evil hands. Even though it's going to cut out a lot of fees and the technology is going to bring on a lot of freedom, robots, algorithms, and drones, but we know the NWO wants to control the masses. And that's where blockchain tokenization and free money come in. And we know the metaverse is set up for millennials and Generation Z. Remember, this generation is the farthest away from the Most High. When you're older, you understand that some things you're just not going to do. Some things you're just not going to follow because you know it's something not right. With this younger generation, this is all they know. And unfortunately, they're not conscious. We know the masses are asleep under the NWO spell. And we have the Treasury and the Fed on another experiment. Now they have to put back close to $1 trillion in these funds. And guys, unlike other debt ceilings, we now have an interest rate, and that's the issue. So what's going to happen? We're going to run into another banking crisis, and we know that's what they want. Remember, the NWO caused the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. By destroying the rest of these small banks, it's going to destroy small businesses. By destroying the small businesses, it's going to put the masses out of work, and then they bring on the robots, algorithms, and drones to take over the economy, and now they can pay each other. And the sheep are going inside the metaverse, Get that free money airdrop. Tell them what, where, and when and how to buy, and they have 3 to 6 months to spend it, or poof, it's gone. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Morning, Becky. Yeah, unable to sell debt during the debt ceiling showdown, the government paid its bills by drawing down the Treasury government account, which you can also think of as the government's checking account at the Federal Reserve. So here's where we now stand. Just about $50 billion is in the account from just under $1 trillion last year. That's as of last Wednesday. And now the Treasury's plans to build it back quickly are causing concerns about a potential liquidity crunch. I talked to Rick Reeder yesterday from BlackRock. He told me the one thing I'm focused on in terms of risks that are out there, it's the Treasury draining a lot of liquidity. Reeder was among those breathing a bit easier yesterday when Treasury said it would sell $425 billion of bills by the end of this month, not the estimated 550, which was out there on the street. But that's still a lot of change right there, and several banks continue to estimate $1 trillion of short-term issuance could be coming by the end of September. The key to whether this goes smoothly, money market funds. I'll explain why. Money markets have parked more than $2 trillion at the Fed in what's called the reverse repo facility. They earn 5.05% right there. If they use this money to buy the Treasury bill markets shouldn't really feel much pain at all. If they don't, and instead it's funded with bank reserves, that's where people like Reeder and others get concerned about a liquidity crunch like the one in 2019 that forced the Fed to reverse course on its quantitative tightening policy. UBS says if money market funds most of the new bills, quote, the flow is not disruptive to the market. The more gradual the Treasury cash build and the more it's funded short, the lower the market risk. Reeder thinks this all is going to work out because he says, quote, there's a lot of cash on the sideline. Treasury says they surveyed market dealers in April and that market told them there's a lot of capacity to absorb the issuance. And they also say, hey, they built back the account before after previous debt ceiling crisis. But still, markets are holding their breath to see if money market funds step up to buy these treasuries. Joe, it's a bit of an experiment.
Vessels are piling up outside of the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach in California, stemming from a worker slowdown issues amid contract disputes. This could start disrupting the nation's supply chain, very similar to what happened during the worst of the pandemic.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, We have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.